Yeah, ready. Parkour has always been an outlet for me, something to put energy into. I found out about parkour like most people. I was always into climbing and jumping as a little kid, and just immediately was drawn to parkour through internet videos in roughly 2015. I didn't take it seriously until 2016, however, which is when I wanted to make parkour an even bigger part of my life and train to go pro. I began putting up Instagram videos, making a team. I started competing. Most importantly, I practiced some really big moves. One afternoon in April, I was flashing trampoline tricks back and forth with my friend Lucas Cruz, a downhill rider staying with my family for the week, and I wanted to do a double side flip. So I did one prep and then I went for it. Oh. Right when I landed, I heard a pop and a sharp pain in my right ankle. I hobbled off the trampoline and crumpled to the floor in pain. At that moment, I knew something was very wrong. Immediately, I went to the hospital where I learned that I broke my right leg an inch away from my ankle. I was shocked. Not being able to jump, let alone walk, for 6 weeks would be rough. How could I sit still for that long? I began to get really depressed and angry, mostly at myself, as I wasn't able to use my biggest and most effective outlet, parkour, and that built up stress inside of me. I never had issues with my mental health before, but during this time I struggled with it. I took for granted the positive outcomes movement had on my mind. All I wanted was to move again. 6 weeks in a cast eventually passed, and 2 weeks in a walking boot went by even faster. By the time I was able to walk with 2 shoes again, I was fortunate enough to join my family on a trip to Hawaii. Through strengthening exercises, I was able to do some moving again by the end of my trip in late June. I heard about a jam in Grand Junction at the start of July and wanted to bring my good friend Timmy from Wisconsin out along with me. Deep down, I knew I really wasn't ready to jump again, but I decided to go anyways. After a long train ride and some light training, we went to sleep. The next day, we woke up and went to a college spot. So far, so good, no injuries to report. Once there, I saw this easy POV line that ended with a drop to some grass on the other side of this bridge, and I was preparing for the beginning of the line, but not really the end, which would come back to haunt me.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, I just broke my f***ing ankle!
Right when I landed, I knew what was wrong. I could feel the bones wiggle in my left leg. All that stress and disappointment was just too much. So many worries and angst filled my mind at that moment. My embarrassment, the medical bills, my family's disappointment, it all just began to stack on me, and I had a panic attack. At the hospital, I was surrounded by my friends Timmy, Michaela, and Vinny, and my worst fear was confirmed. I had broken my other leg. Even with friends' support, I began feeling very depressed, and nothing really mattered, nothing stood out, and I was back to being helpless. Again, no outlet for all the angst and anxiety that I felt. I debated quitting parkour right then and there. Sometimes I even wondered if it was worth being alive without it. One day in July, I had an epiphany. I could sit here, complain, be sad, and have nothing change, or I could get up, make a list of goals, and start working toward them. Not parkour goals necessarily, but more personal life goals. It's time to find out who I was without parkour. Once I did that, life became much clearer. I began spending time with friends and family more, and I was feeling hopeful for the first time in a while. I started working out more, and just being a more creative and kind person in general. I realized that parkour is kind of like a skyscraper. If your foundation isn't strong, you're gonna collapse. That's exactly why my injuries happened. I was too caught up with the idea of progressing instead of training what really mattered, my foundation. I finally realized that parkour does not mean progress. Parkour means practice. Take it from someone who's learned it the hard way. Master your moves before even thinking of moving on to another one. Don't do it like 1 or 2 or 3 times. Do it like 50. Do it like 100 times. Drill it to the point of boredom. That way, your progress is pure and you will have less injuries. Don't look at parkour from the outside in. Look at it from the inside out.